What's up, y'all? It's your girl SoftSuppleandFierce, and today I decided to do another first impression on another new foundation. So I was actually on my way to get ready to head out and run some errands and hang out with my kids and my boo. And I was like, you know what? I haven't used these foundations yet, or used this foundation yet. Let me go ahead and get it on camera since I'm using it for the first time. So I am doing a video on the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover Foundation. I have them in 3 shades. And if you all have been watching my channel long enough, then you know that I have always been a big fan of the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. And that's just like my go-to affordable foundation. It's absolutely amazing. You know, I love the coverage. I love the matte finish. Everything about that foundation is just awesome. So when I heard they came out with a new foundation, I was like, oh, you know, I gotta try it. So I have them in 3 shades. I have it in shades 311, which is Creme Cafe, 310, which is Classic Tan, and 312, which is KoKo. So KoKo is my shade in the L'Oreal Pro Matte Foundation, so I'm hoping that it's my shade in this. The L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation did have a red undertone, which I didn't mind because once I got finished doing my whole foundation routine and putting everything on my face, it looked absolutely superb. So I'm hoping that it's the same thing with this one. And I got the other 2 shades because I felt like if this one was too red, then I could probably mix it with one of the other 2, because all of them have like a pinkish undertone. So I can maybe mix it with one of these other 2 to bring it down a bit. So this foundation is supposed to be good for up to 24 hours. It's supposed to have a natural finish, so it's not matte, which kind of blows me because I really didn't pay attention when I bought it. It's more of a natural finish. You're supposed to be able to wear it for 24 hours, like I just said. It's supposed to have high coverage, so it's supposed to be a full coverage foundation, and the texture is supposed to be air light. And in my opinion, when I hear air light, I mean that you're not really supposed to know that it's there. It's not supposed to feel heavy, cakey, or any of that. So let's go in and see what it is. So the coloring on the tube is not quite what's inside the tube, if you get what I'm trying to say. Like, this is an actual cover, it's not the foundation, but like right down here you can probably see a little of what the actual foundation looks like, and it's a little lighter than the cover on the bottom. So let's take it off and see. So this is KoKo, and I'm just going to put a drop on it on the back of my hand. This is, actually this one kind of does match the coloring on the tube. So it almost is somewhat of a match to the tube cover. As you can see, it definitely has a reddish undertone, but it doesn't seem like it's really, really red. So let me go in with the one right underneath this one. This is 312. I'm going to go in with 311. Oh yeah, this one is much lighter than the tube. See? And I thought that maybe this would be a better match for me, considering, you know, how much of a reddish undertone 312 has. But obviously you can see that that one is much lighter. But I'm going to mix the 2 and apply it to see what to see what magic I come up with. I just got the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer, the mattifying primer. So I'm definitely going to go with that. I'm only going to use this on my T-zone because that's where I get really oily. My T-zone and like my cheeks. So I'm going to go in with that first. And I like to use a lot. Some people are like, oh, you only need a little bit. I have a big face, so I need more than the usual person would use. So I'm going to go in with that first, like I said, all up in my T-zone. This smells good. This has been out for a while, and I'm just now using it because, you know, for the price that this stuff is, it better work. I bought the Becca mattifying primer, and I just was not happy with it at all. I was still a shiny disco ball mess at the end of the day. So now that I have that all throughout my T-zone, I'm now going to go in with my main primer that I've been using for at least the last 2 years, and that's my Nivea Men Sensitive Post Shave Balm. Let's give this a shake, and I'm just going to put this on the outer perimeter of my face. It smells really good. It smells just like a man. I absolutely love it. It really gives your skin, it really gives your makeup something to stick to. I like how tacky it becomes. And yeah, it's a great primer. So I'm just going to mix these 2 foundations together on the back of my hand. And this is what I've come out with. So let's go in and apply it to the face with the finger. Now, because of how thick this foundation is, I really don't want to go in and apply this with a brush, because I was going to do one side with a brush and then the other side with a beauty blender, but because of the thickness of this, it's almost like a mousse. I'm going to go in with a beauty blender immediately. And, you know, on the same token, I just love the way beauty blenders apply foundation. So, that's a plus. So, let's go in with the beauty blender. And yes, I have an actual beauty blender this time. So, I will say that upon doing this with everything that I put on my face first, like the matte primer, everything, it does, like, kind of dry this out a little. But I like a matte face, like I said, because I hate to be an oily mess at the end of the day. So you really have to work with this. The beauty blender probably should be a little more wet than what it is, because I wet this like maybe 20 minutes ago. I don't really like to use my beauty blender like, you know, wet. I like to use it like, you know, barely damp. But with this foundation, I see I can't do that because of how thick it is. And then, like I said, the mattifying primer kind of makes this a tad harder to work with. And I did have to spray my beauty blender with some Fix Plus to get the coverage, you know, to get it to spread the way I want it. So yeah, so a brush may have been better. I see now that I cannot use that matte primer with this foundation because it's not blending out on my forehead the way I want it to. Because when I say my face is matte, my face is matte, honey. So let's go back in with that beauty blender and blend out these areas that I applied additional foundation to. And yeah, the coverage is amazing. So I guess at this point, lesson learned. No mattifying primer with this one. Because if this is my thing, a natural finish is not a matte finish. In my opinion, it's more of like a it's not a glow, but it's more of like a skin-like finish. And this stuff on top of this mattifying primer is like bone dry. Like bone dry. Like I don't really notice. It is airlight. I will say that much. It is airlight. I don't really notice that, you know, it's there. But on the same token, it's like, damn. Either this is some good mattifying primer or this foundation is more of a matte finish than a natural finish. Because, yeah, I just can't get over how dry this is. Like, I was not expecting this. So I really can't blend this out any more than I already have. But I think I'm going to do this again. Right now, I'm really not feeling it. Let me go ahead and finish the rest of my face and see how I can fix this, and I'll be right back. I'm back, and here is my final thoughts on this foundation. Okay, so first of all, I think it's more of a matte finish than the natural finish that they were claiming. Second of all, the reddish undertone, like I said, it doesn't really bother me because by the time I get finished putting everything else on my face, it comes out looking pretty, you know, pretty decent. The coverage is definitely full coverage, and it's definitely buildable, and it is airlight. Like at this point, I really don't feel like I have any foundation on my face. My only concern with this foundation is the fact that after using a matte primer, and even just on the outer perimeter where I use the Nivea Men Shave Balm, this stuff was just like, I honestly can't even really describe it because I feel like it clung on to all of my dry patches. I feel like up here in my forehead it got really patchy, and I like really had to do some work to like cover it up. I definitely do not recommend using a beauty blender with this foundation. I think it may have come out better with a brush, like maybe the what's my favorite? foundation brush, the Morphe M439 brush or the Sigma Flat Kabuki brush. I definitely think it probably would have came out better like that. So I'm really not one to really want to say on camera that I don't like a product, because I feel like, me personally, I try to make any product that I buy work for me. But in this case, I'm still not going to say it in this case, because in all honesty, I do really like the final look. I like, you know, how after putting all these other products on my face, now I look, you know, I look beat. It took some work, you know, but on the same token, I did, you know, use a mattifying primer, and like I said, I think that they should really change this from a natural finish to a demi matte finish, because the matte primer along with this foundation, my face is completely matte. It doesn't feel dry, it's just completely matte. So I think this is more of a matte foundation, and had I known that, I wouldn't have used the matte primer. I probably just would have gone in with the Nivea Men Sensitive Post Shave Balm. So yeah, I'm not going to say this is a bad foundation. I'm actually going to play around with it. I probably wear it for a couple more days. So yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to become a subby, and I will see you guys in my next video, okay? Alright, bye.